it. Katie, calm down.
Let her go.
Megan, turn off.
Are you sure? You know what happens to bad boys that don't mind their manners? They grow up to be bad men.
I thought I heard something. It sounded like Megan.
If she comes in this room, I'll rip your head right off your neck, I swear to God.
Hear me out. This is my pitch to you. All right.
Okay.
Picture this for a movie.
Yeah.
All right. We're outside the Drake and Josh house. Okay. we go in. It's Megan's 16th birthday. She just got her license. Yay, right?
Yeah.
Walter and her mom get her a car. She's so happy. You know, she drives that car. We see her pull out, and then we just hear like a swerve and a crash. She blows up and dies. Okay.
Okay.
Black. 5 years later, you know, Walter, stricken with grief, decides to has been in contact with an AI robot development company. Okay.
Oh my God.
He's like, we can upload her memories to this AI, and it's like Megan was never gone. All right. Introduce Megan. They bring back Megan. But this is the twist. Turns out Drake and Josh were tired of all of Megan's pranks. They were going to kill her. And with the help of Mindy Crenshaw, they actually cut the brakes on her new car, killing her.
Wait, who's Mindy Crenshaw?
Oh my God, this man. You don't know your Drake and Josh characters? That's the girl that would always beat Josh.
Oh, but that secretly liked him?
Yeah, and then they got together.
Yeah,
she was the one
that
cloned her cockatoo. Here we go. Megan, back. Artificial memory. But she knows, right? She's smart. So the rest of the film is her getting revenge on everyone who killed her.
Oh my God.
And that's my pitch for a new Megan tie-in with Drake and Josh.
Nice. I honestly thought you were going to make a joke about Drake Bell molesting her or something.
Ugh. Ooh. Yeah, that's actually it. Megan is actually hosting a sting operation. Where, oh my God, that would be like a modern if they brought like Drake and Josh back. Like Megan pranks Drake by catfishing him as like a 14-year-old girl and take him to a sting house, and somehow she gets in contact with Chris Hansen.
Yeah, he guest stars in that episode.
Yeah, and the whole episode, Josh is just like, Drake, I'm telling you, there's this show Dateline on NBC. It could be one of those. And Drake's like, oh, no, that's not around anymore. You know? And then Josh will, like, go with him just to make sure he's safe, and then Chris Hansen walks in.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Did I have that right? It
awesome.
Was Drake Bell that, like, got, like, in trouble for...
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
He was, like, sexting minors.
That's... Okay, I thought that was... what happened to him. I knew something very bad happened to him.
Yeah, he's had a slew of problems. He got like a bunch of DUIs.
Oh God.
He was saying like a bunch of hateful shit against like trans people like years ago.
That's horrible.
He I don't know if you've like listened to his music.
No.
One day I was just curious. I was like, what is Drake Bell up to? So I looked it up, and it's fucking like erotic Spanish music.
Oh, okay.
Like he's singing in Spanish, and the music videos have a lot of very almost naked women that he's kissing and rubbing up against, and it's very strange. Didn't picture that.
That's bizarre. I actually have heard that his music is not super popular in the U.S., but it is like in Mexico. So
he like, you know, when like those people always comment like, come to Brazil, it's all like the pop stars.
Yeah, exactly.
So he like was like, for the first time, like, I'll roll with it. That's all I got.
Yeah, he's just gonna cater to specifically that crowd.
That makes sense then. It's like how like K-pop is like huge here, so like the K-pop people cater to like Western audiences.
Yeah, I've noticed that. I didn't know that if that was like a agreed upon thing or not. That's
I mean,
interesting.
it's popular there, but I think it's like they make way more money here.
That makes
just
sense.
Selling shit to kids.
Us gringos, we just love to pop up what we view as foreigners. We love that.
It's almost like 'cause we have no identity of our own.
It's kind of true.
Therefore, we cling on to brands and political views.
Well, we have an identity, but it just sucks. No one likes it.
Yeah, our identity is covering up all the terrible shit we did.
Yes, exactly. Or it's like, yeah, like fried chicken. Like we just eat fried foods in McDonald's. It's like,
and it once you experience other cultures, you realize, wow, we don't have one.
No, yeah.
Our culture is cheese. We bread it and put in a deep fryer.
Yes. The one thing,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
The one thing I think we actually do have culture that's unique to other people is, and it was made through a bunch of misery, for one, which is horrible. But I mean, like African American culture, like rap, like.
Oh yeah,
that's pretty unique to us, and that's a pretty popular thing.
I would say that, yeah.
Like that's the one thing I think that we don't value as much as we should in America.
Yeah.
When really it's like one of the it's like a cultural touchstone of our nation. That's like what kind of makes us unique and important compared to other people.
That's true.
But
yeah, and the reason it is because of all the poverty and
exactly
skid rows and shit like that.
Yeah, it's like this horrible thing. Like nothing about our image makes us look good.
Nothing good came from America that didn't start miserable.
Yes.
Or someone doing terrible things for their own profit.
Right.
Just like Hollywood. Which I have to say we're kind of leading in the entertainment industry.
Sure.
Considering we just make movies for China. You know?
Yeah,
basically. Who gives a shit if Americans will like it? China wants to see a fucking planet explode in a spaceship, sure.
But they don't want to see black people.
No, yeah.
No,
Captain Marvel isn't hot enough. That was a thing. They complained.
Really?
Yeah. They thought Brie Larson wasn't hot enough.
Oh, I think she's attractive enough.
Hey, not to Chinese people who want to see Megan Fox.
That's true. Speaking of Megan Fox, Megan looks a lot like Megan Fox.
Is that the tie-in? Wait, were you doing a tie-in?
I was.
Do you beat me to the tie-in?
I thought I would take the opportunity to make a terrible joke. And
thank you. Thank you. You lifted that burden from me.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. It's time to get into M3GAN.
Yeah.
Which I will say this movie I feel like has been advertised for the last 2 years, and you couldn't escape it anywhere.
Yeah, it feels like that.
No one knew what it was. They just knew Blumhouse, James Wan is attached to it, and it's a M3GAN.
Right.
It's if Chucky was hot.
Oh god.
Which is not a good way to say it because it's supposed to be a child.
It's true.
But it's like a Yazified Chucky.
Yeah, she is like a Bratz doll.
Yeah.
A robotic Bratz doll, basically.
It's like a Bratz doll if it was an AI and was in the TikTok era.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, it had a really bad first trailer.
Yes.
That I think it just made everybody annoyed and laughed at because the trailer was very stupid looking. Yeah.
I think the issue is I don't think they knew what they wanted to market it as in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's clear watching it is a comedy.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think they were really banking on making it like, ooh, maybe like honestly, okay. Blumhouse is made for teenage girls, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Well, all right, let's make this movie $5 million. Okay, ooh, like, it's just like a roller coaster ride. You go, you get scared, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, 14-year-old girls with their friends will want to see this on a Friday night after school, and they go like, ooh, I'm so scared.
Mm-hmm.
That's Blumhouse's bread and butter, right? And that's fine because it funds them to do other stuff like Nope and Halloween and all this other shit.
True.
And I feel like M3GAN was that genre. That's what it looks like, but the movie itself isn't. So I think it was very difficult because they were like, how can we reach the most audience that want to see something scary, and then the people like us that will want to see something fucking dumb.
Yeah. I was thinking this while I was leaving the theater. It was like, it's very much like a have your cake and eat it too situation, where they like it's like a very schlocky concept, which is like, you know, like a doll who looks like, I don't know, like it looks beautiful by conventional beauty standards, and like it's like a scary like doll that goes around and murders people. You know, that's a very schlocky idea. Yeah. But then like they actually turned it around and made it something that is watchable and is actually pretty good.
But then it does go into B-movie territory, especially at the end.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which we'll get into. But for those I guess who hasn't been on the internet or have a TV for the last year, M3GAN is essentially what you just described as a fully AI doll, like the first of its kind.
Whoa.
And it is made to basically link up with a child and honestly like take care of them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the main theme of like surrogate mothers and stuff like that. Or like if like what's the point of a parent if technology can just do it, you know? And then I will just say, I guess M3GAN takes her job of protecting the child very seriously. And does not care about lives, and learns very quickly about mortality.
Yeah.
That humans can die and she can't.
Yes. This is like a much better version of like the Child's Play reboot.
I was getting a lot of the vibes from that.
It's very similar.
But I think the difference is that I would say that movie is a comedy. Like, it knows it's funny. It knows it's goofy. I mean, it's Chucky, you know, he says funny things.
Yeah.
Where I feel like M3GAN is definitely more of a dark comedy where there's no real jokes. Like there's no like moments to like cue the laugh track, you know?
Oh.
It's like the moments are just so absurd that it's funny.
Yes, yeah.
Where, because like, okay, I saw this in a theater. There wasn't a lot of people, but I was the only one laughing. And I felt fucking insane because I'm like, this is the funniest shit I've seen.
Yeah.
This movie's so funny. And no one was like, everyone was just like, oh, okay. Like, just watching it.
Yeah, I got that impression too. Or it's like, it's funny like that it like plays on a lot of like cliches.
Yes.
Like I noticed that very early on. One scene I'll mention when I knew it was the scene when I knew I was gonna like really like this movie was when they're like first demonstrating M3GAN's abilities with the child, and they're in that like testing room, and then M3GAN is like drawing that picture.
Yeah.
And she like uses like 2 highlighters on it or something. And then the girl takes a picture. Oh, there's nothing on this. M3GAN, what are you doing? And then M3GAN like knocks over like a jar of water, and then it gets all over, and then oh my god, they're like magic markers, and then and it's like this when the picture's revealed from the water, it's like this elaborate like picture, but it's like what that you were using like 2 highlighters and you like scribbled a little bit.
M3GAN's just that good.
And then there's this like a magnificent like picture that gets resulted from that. I feel like goofy stuff like that was like purposefully so silly, and like it's playing on cliches where it's like it's like a cliche taken to such a ridiculous point that it comes around to being like funny.
Yeah, and like it knows it's dumb,
right?
And it's gonna own it.
Yeah, exactly. The other scene that was like that too around then was with the boss when they first introduced her boss, and he comes down. And like he can't get in the door, and it's like such like a stereotypical like he's like the mean grumpy boss, but again it's like taken such an extreme that it's like so funny.
Every character is an extreme.
Yes. Everyone. This is what I liked about it. I thought it was kind of genius in a way. 'Cause it does that stuff where it's like it plays on those cliches and it like is funny in that way. but then it also has like an actual emotional core to it. Because like I felt that the character who makes Megan, I don't remember her name, but I felt like her, and then
Gemma.
Gemma, yep, that's it. Gemma, and then the daughter of her sister that she adopted.
Yeah, Katie.
Katie, that's right. Yep. And I felt like their story was pretty like emotional, and it wasn't really like played for laughs too much.
No,
and I
they
think,
never used it.
Right. I think that helped me like that helped the movie a lot to like propel
You're invested in the character.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
On top of this fucking goofy movie.
Yes.
Well, one thing I would compare this to a lot is Malignant.
Yeah.
Just in the fact where it fully commits to being dumb. And I respect the hell out of that.
I don't know. I think this is what Malignant was trying to do, but this actually succeeded.
Yeah.
Like
that's fair.
Because like I never was really emotionally invested in any of the characters in Malignant.
Oh no.
Or like I was doing a lot of it, and that stuff was funny.
It's more just like stuff. Who done it.
Yeah.
Who done it stuff.
Yeah. And like I felt like this was like, and this is James Wan attached to it again. I know he's just producing it, I think, this time, but it's like you could tell that it was that same idea. I could see them writing this movie and like giggling to themselves when they're writing it. Like,
oh no, they were having a blast.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, like, I would say like some of the situations in this, there's stuff like we would come up with.
Yes.
You know, like when we're watching a movie, they're like, it'd be funny if like this happened, like this character did this, and there are moments where like, oh my god. Like, okay, let's get into the funny stuff. We'll try to stay spoiler free as much as possible.
Okay.
But one of those moments that I knew that was the moment I knew this movie was awesome is the one of the first times we see Megan like kill, and she like scares this boy and the boy's running, and then she fucking turns into like a dog, where she starts running on all fours like an animal.
Yeah.
And it is the funniest thing ever.
Part of what makes that funny is like, it's like not really even scary. It's like she's not moving fast enough for it to be scary. You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna make that scary, you like have her like run like inhumanly fast or whatever. But it was like she was just like running at like a normal speed that like a horse girl would run.
Yeah,
she was doing
like a horse girl. Yeah, they programmed the horse girl gene into her.
Yes.
But I just think it's so funny because like her goal is to basically appear like a friend, to never like break that facade. But then the second she goes into kill mode, it's like, okay, I'm a monstrosity now, and then just starts running on all fours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then awesome. In that same scene too, like right before she does that, she literally makes a Shrek line where she's like, "This is the part where you run away."
Oh yeah,
and the kid starts running. I was like, "Oh my god, that is straight from Shrek."
It is.
The one part which might be my favorite moment in the whole movie, and I was absolutely losing my mind in that theater when Katie was sad. And she's like in her bed at night, and Megan gives her like an uplifting, like, you know, motivational speech, and then to put her to bed, she sings like a lullaby version of that song Titanium.
Oh god, yeah, that was so funny.
I was losing my mind. That's when I realized, I'm like, okay, this movie is kind of smart.
Yeah,
where they just thought that was funny,
right? It works on multiple levels for me, because I was thinking it's like funny. It's like, it's so cringy that it comes around to being funny. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, but then also it's like, cause that's such a like, it's like a very popular pop song. So it's like, it's very like superficial. Like, I'm titanium, like fire.
It makes sense that she would, if like her AI brain would just like pull that.
Right, and it like it goes with the themes of the movie too, because it's like it's such a popular song. It's like a superficial thing. Like it isn't. There's not really much of a message there other than like the
The
most
words.
broad kind of message, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing where like she's just like this husk of a person. There's nothing really there. She pretends like she knows like what Katie is
The
going
emotions
through.
are and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right, but she has no
She's
idea.
just programmed to comfort, not to understand.
Right, so she's like, it made like, it's funny because like it's so like cringy that it comes around to being funny, but then it also works on a thematic level. Like it makes sense that Megan would pick a song like that to sing
Yeah.
because it's so superficial and broad in its messaging that like this movie is very incredibly smartly written. Like I was very surprised.
Way smarter than it needs to be.
Oh yeah, I like, and like I feel like we're propping up the comedic aspects of it a lot so far, which is fair because there's a lot of funny moments. But like, this movie for me also had a lot of stuff where I was like, this is actually like tense and anxiety inducing.
Yeah, the horror stuff is actually very scary.
Oh yeah, like it's yeah.
It's really, I mean, I think a complaint with me is, like I said, you know, these Blumhouse movies, not saying that they're not made with love, but they are on a factory machine, you know?
Yeah.
So, and this director, Gerard Johnstone, great job, but other than the horror bits, the movie just looks bland. Like, it looks like any other Blumhouse movie.
Yeah, that's true.
But the horror parts are actually very well directed and executed.
Yes, like yeah,
it evens out for me.
Oh yeah, it's the writing is part of what does it, but then also the scene is executed. There's so many setup and payoffs in this movie.
Yes,
like,
especially in the beginning,
right?
When we're just seeing like Gemma interact, like with the dog, the lady spraying like the pesticides, all this stuff.
It's like you don't see that in movies anymore. It's sad to say it's such a basic thing, but like you really don't see it that executed to that level where it's like,
and especially in like horror movies, that's like essential.
Yep.
Like, you know, that thing that your main character acknowledges in the first 5 minutes of the movie is going to be used later.
Yes.
If they have some kind of weapon, they're doing housework.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If they have a chainsaw, something like that is going. You don't introduce a chainsaw and not use it later.
Yeah. Like a great example, like it's like a setup that leads to a really tense scene. With the dog, the neighbor's dog.
Yeah, it keeps getting on her side of the fence. Her fence, there's a hole.
Right, yeah.
In there.
And that scene when Megan goes to get Katie's arrow that she lost, and then she like reaches through, and like you know what's going to happen, but like you like don't want it to happen so badly because you know it's going to be like horrible. Because at that point in the movie, you care about Megan because of what she means to Katie.
Yeah, she's doing positive stuff to Katie.
Right, it's like it's helping Katie grieve, and
And while not in the long run, it may be good for Katie.
Yes.
Which I think is the main focus of the movie.
Right.
And I think that is just a general AI thing, right? That's like a technology where I feel like a lot of these AI stuff is good for like short-term problems. But like the use of them in the long run is not good.
Yes, like, you
like
can't,
the whole point you can't make a parent, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Like they're never going to give like a human emotion like a parent would. And Katie, if a kid is grown up only knowing this robot, they're not going to be able to deal with the discomforts in the world. You know, if they have this robot that basically will solve any need they have, both emotionally, physically, whatever, when they get out in the real world and realize that nothing's perfect, and they don't have their Megan to comfort them, they're gonna break down.
Right. And it's also too, it's like it's a lot about she uses Megan as like a coping mechanism so she doesn't have to deal with the grief of her losing her parents. And it's like that the whole point of that is like you can't like like you were saying, you can't like bury yourself in technology. to hide from your problems and not face them. It doesn't work, or it's not healthy, rather. Like, you have to disconnect yourself away from that, and, like, the best thing you can do is, like, interact human to human, like, go to your support system, like, be with your other members of your family. They'll help you get through, like, tough times like that. And, like, like, Megan in this movie is just, like, kind of, she ends up being bad for the child, well, good at first, like we were saying.
And that topic you said, I just want to use this to plug another great movie, is that's very similar to We're All Going to the World's Fair.
Yeah.
Which is about replacing your problems with being terminally online. So if you have HBO, go watch We're All Going to the World's Fair, because that's my favorite horror movie of last year.
Oh my god, yeah. I wish we would have reviewed that, honestly. It's
I know.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe one day we'll revisit it.
Sure. Yeah, I don't mind.
Because it's incredible.
It really is.
It works on so many levels, but back to Megan.
Yes.
Star of the show here. So, some parts. Okay, we got to talk about the iconic scene from the trailer. Now that there's context in place, with her dancing.
Oh yeah.
Because that shit ruled. I remember people, and when that trailer first dropped, they were making fun of it because I think people were confused as to what this movie was.
Right. Yeah.
No one sure was like, is that supposed to be taken seriously? Is that supposed to be funny? Is it supposed to be scary? What is it? And then when you get context, it's all three of those things.
Yeah,
like, and the dance itself is so goofy too.
It is.
Like,
yes.
It's just her like waving her arms.
Right. Yeah. And it is kind of like it reminds me of TikTok dances. How they're kind of like satisfying to look at. Well, they're not like technically like impressive. They're just kind of like made to look.
They're just there,
satisfying, and it makes sense with Megan's character because like it's all about that superficiality, and like nothing is more superficial than social media videos on TikTok.
Oh, especially TikToks.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I need to talk about this trend on TikTok I've been seeing.
Oh god.
And have you seen those videos? It'll be okay. So you're looking like your typical like phone resolution, you know, your vertical smartphone resolution, and there'll be like 4 panels. And the audio, there'll be audio from like a sincere Family Guy moment, like an emotional Family Guy moment.
What?
Then there'll be like another panel, and it's all in the same frame of a guy playing like Temple Run. And then on the top, it'll be like someone like aesthetic, like satisfying stuff, like soap cutting or whatever. And it's like all this, it's just like sensory overload.
What the
Have you seen those?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, I thought it was a shit post, the first one I saw, because I'm like, you know, Family Guy's in it, it's a shit post, you know?
Yeah.
And then people were like, I saw more and more, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I started going in the comments of these posts, and people are like, this is like what my like 6-year-old like nephew watches all day, and they're like showing his phone. It's just these videos. It's literally just like overstimulus. and I mean, okay, I don't have a problem. Like, I don't think kids should necessarily be restricted to like screen time or whatever. But if it is just hours of that, that is very damaging.
Oh yeah,
to a child's mind.
I don't know about you, but I found I was even guilty of this week where I was watching Banshees of Inisherin, and then I was playing a board game at the same time.
Yeah,
where it's like
not enough dopamine.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like something about the way that technology has progressed and the way like our brains have reacted to it. It's like
we just constantly need something entertaining.
Right. And it's like at a certain point you're like watching a movie and you're on your phone. Yeah. And it's like, what am I doing? Like, I feel like
for me, chores, cooking, and eating. I always have a YouTube video on. I always have a podcast going.
Yeah.
I always just need something, even if I don't give a shit. Like I'll watch like just like recently I watched a random YouTube video that was recommended to me about like the original creator of the Sonic comics and the big lawsuit he got into with Sega.
Okay.
I don't care about Sonic. I don't care about comics. it. I watched this whole hour documentary on it. You know?
That sounds interesting, though. I'd watch that.
It is very interesting, and it's just as much cringe as you expect.
Oh, nice.
But you would like it because it's comics, and it's a lot of interesting stuff about create like ownership of characters versus the property.
Yes, that's that's a big like, controversy in the comics world.
If you make your own character for DC, who owns it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's so funny because this dude basically fought for his characters, and Sega was so petty when he like eventually, I guess, won to some degree, that instead of just like maybe starting a new timeline, they literally just fucking killed all of his characters.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Which I guess that whole reason is why the comic series is just fucked for Sonic even today.
Wow. That's crazy.
They kind of fell into, I think, the whole Marvel's getting into now with all these multiverses.
Oh, God.
Which...
to get themselves out of that corner they wrote themselves into.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a very common thing in the comic book world.
I know. Just from hearing you talk about it.
That reminds me of, we gotta get back to M3GAN, so I'll make this a quick story. But it's another...
quick tangentially related comic book industry story. But yeah, it's like, there's countless stories of that where it's like, one of the most famous comic books of all time, arguably the best comic book ever made, Watchmen. Alan Moore created those characters. He made a contract with DC back in the day, and this was back before comics ever were reprinted. Like when that issue came out on the stands, that was it. You get that issue that week or it's gone forever. Like, we're not making it again. So they said, okay, yeah, you get ownership of your characters, Alan Moore, once the comic goes out of print. Because back then it was like you never reprinted stuff. So then all of a sudden DC makes an initiative where they start reprinting Watchmen, and then they made a collected version of it. So ever since then, they keep making new editions of Watchmen to keep reprinting it and keep getting money, because if they don't, they're going to lose those characters back to Alan Moore. So basically they scammed his ass, and now he just lost those characters forever. Lost the characters.
Yeah, it's brutal.
From what I've learned about comics, is always the artists and writers get screwed.
Oh, yeah,
and always the companies win.
Yeah, I mean, just...
and not for the better.
Just look at the movies and like... comic book creators will get like a shout out in the movie, like, oh, Thanos created by whoever it is, Jim Starlin, that's who it is, and that's it. They don't see any royalties from that. They don't see anything else.
Oh, that's bullshit.
It's like, it very rarely do they, and it's usually because the director is a nice guy, or the writer, and they bring him in, like the Suicide Squad, the new one James Gunn did. They brought in the original creator of the Suicide Squad as a cameo, so then he at least has a paycheck as a cameo.
Gotcha.
Because, like,
oh, that's nice.
But stuff like that, it's very fucked up. But anyway, back to M3GAN.
Back to M3GAN.
I don't even remember how we got on that tangent. I'll be honest with you.
Good question. I already don't remember.
We were talking
technology has fueled my brain with dopamine, and I have short-term memory loss.
Yes. Exactly.
So, okay, well, one character I want to talk about here.
Yeah.
And this for me was maybe in the con territory is Gemma. To me, I didn't like her. Like, okay, but it's weird because I connect with her a bit. Because I'm bad with kids. If there's a child in front of me, I don't know what to do. Yeah. Like if someone's like, oh, hey, can you like watch my kid? I'm like, no, why? You're trusting me with this thing? You know? Like, I just talk to kids like an adult. I don't know. I just never know what to do because I'm like an only child. I've never really, like, all my like cousins and like family have always been around my age.
Oh, I see.
So I've never had the need to interact with children. So I'm very bad at it, much like Gemma, who clearly did not want to be like a parent at all. And like, I mean, like one example, like she has like her collectible toys.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
that was funny.
And Katie's like, "Oh, like you have toys. That's cool." And she's like, "No, those are collectibles. They're toys you don't play with." You know. So in some way, I connect with Gemma, especially her being like a tech person.
Yeah.
Like there's one part I liked when she's like, "Hey, I gotta work. Can you just like keep yourself entertained? You can play on my iPad." And Katie's like, "Okay, well, like, what's my screen time?" And she's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Katie's like, "You know, how long? Like before I had like an hour of screen time a day." And Gemma's like, "I don't give a shit, dude. Like, who cares? You know?"
Right. Right.
Which probably isn't good. You know, considering what kids are watching, those fucking Family Guy aesthetic Temple Run TikToks. But yeah, I don't know. I connected to her with sub-level. But the problem is I just don't think her character's that likable. And for two big reasons for me is, and I think it's more the script's fault, is you never see her connection to her sister at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is just kind of stated, "Oh, I told her I would take Katie if something happened to her," which weird thing to, I don't know, say.
Yeah.
Like at any time, like, "If I die, you're gonna take my kid in and don't let her live with her grandparents in Florida." So I don't know, her just not understanding the situation. Like I almost seemed like, and her, we never get that establishment with her sister or that connection, and it seems like she isn't all that grief stricken either.
Oh yeah, I actually I will disagree with this, because I actually think that they accounted for that in the script, because I do think they mentioned early on in the movie that her and her sister were estranged at that point.
Oh, they were. Yeah, that's right.
And,
okay.
Basically, the sister.
And she feels kind of guilty, so she's like, "I have to keep her wish."
Right. Yeah. The dead sister wanted Gemma to take her child, so then she's like, "Oh, I will take the child," like as a kind of a way of making it up to her, because they had not been talking for a while. Mm-hmm. So I think I thought that was fine. I don't know.
I get it, but I don't know. You just never get that, I guess, emotional connection, and honestly, like, considering Gemma's character being like a super workaholic, she's very selfish.
She is, yes.
She's very selfish. I would, the second that service person was like, "Hey, you know, she has like loving grandparents in Florida," she'd be like, "Fuck yeah, take them." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, maybe
I'm just a terrible person, but that I would be like, yeah, like, you know, I didn't like, it's shitty, but like, if she's gonna have a better life, like, I don't know how to take care of her.
Yeah,
I clearly don't.
It was a selfish thing still, though, because the only reason she took her was to make herself feel better about her sister. So it was still like a selfish thing. But I mean, I don't know. I do think it. I thought it was fun. I do think she is likable, but I think it's intentional, because she goes through a character arc where she becomes. I will say she does
have a decent arc, and by the end, I was changed.
Yes,
but there's one part that made me fucking despise her.
Oh god!
Is when the dog first bites Katie, which bad, okay?
Yeah.
But she's like, "I want that dog put down." That is a red flag for me. That is when I was like, this is the biggest, worst person in any movie I've seen. And okay, I'm not saying the dog was in the right, but Katie went on her side, the dog's side.
Oh, yeah.
And got bit.
Yeah.
That dog wasn't on her side. That dog was just living its life.
I don't know. I was fine with that, because it was like months of. They imply it's been months that she's been dealing with that dog.
Yeah, but
and nothing has been done about it. It was a more thing said out of like anger or frustration in the moment, rather
unless
than
a dog ate my firstborn, then that's like the only situation where I'd be like, put that dog down.
Okay,
I'm a dog guy. I know how dogs think. If like Steve Irwin said, it's never the human's fault, or it's never the animal's fault. It's always the human's fault.
Yeah,
you have to understand that's an animal.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just me. That's just But that little moment of her, and I understand your argument, but it's not going to change the fact that I wanted to punch her in the face in that moment.
Yeah, I understand that too. That's completely
and
fair.
That sat with me the entire movie. Like, even at the emotional parts when, like, her and Katie make up, I'm just like, oh, she still wanted to kill that dog. Fuck her. You know? So that left a bitter taste in my mouth.
I don't blame you now that you explain it that way.
So that was just something for me, you know? Yeah, that's here funny. I am saying this, then I go, I'm like, oh, Cannibal Holocaust is my favorite movie.
Yeah, but... no. Well, no, and it's also, yeah, she does a lot of unlikable things early on. I think, and
that's still the point. Yeah. Because she's not fit to be a parent.
Right. I think the worst thing she does for me is
creates a killing robot.
Well, but that wasn't intentional. But she kind of exploits Katie's grief.
Yes.
To get her get further in her career.
Yes, because she knows that Megan's like feeding off of it.
Right.
And it'll make her look better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty bad, but that also sets up one of the... It's like all the theme, everything in this movie kind of goes back to one central theme, and that's like you see kids out every day where like parents will just hand them an iPad to get them to shut up.
Oh, yeah.
And they just don't give a shit because they have other problems they're dealing with. They got work. They're concerned about that, and like they just can't even bring themselves to deal with their own child in a person-to-person kind of way. So they'd rather just shove an iPad in their face. And it was like Gemma in this movie uses her work to like get into her own personal life, which I feel like happens a lot these days, more so than it did before, where it's
especially now that we're so connected.
Yeah, it's like it's almost like the work culture now is like your whole life is built around work. Like everything,
your career,
it goes back to work in some way. And that was like part of like putting that theme and making it more effective was showing Gemma like literally using her own blood's grief to kind of get herself further and exploit it by like putting her in front of Megan and making videos like showing them off to investors. It was like you're literally letting work consume your life so much that you're like literally abusing your own family member.
Yeah.
Like
you're like that's emotional abuse.
It is. It really is.
Hey, I know you just lost your parents like a week ago, but I'm gonna put you in a room in front of a bunch of people and watch you cry.
Yes.
Yeah, that's terrible. Actually,
it's pretty bad, and it also kind of reminded me of, this is not really true of movies, but I don't know if you noticed this, but the music industry today, or like people's reaction and like kind of the artists, the way they make music now, it's like artists are like kind of like applauded for like putting all their like dirty laundry in their music, like
like being all personal,
right? Being all personal, like putting out
Eminem's entire career.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like music is like the most genre that's the most guilty of that, where I feel like it's kind of fucked up in a way that artists, in order to be seen as like credible or like real, it's like they have to like talk about their depression or talk about something horrible that happened in their life, like and they're kind of almost applauded for it. I feel like that was kind of what that was trying to lean in, especially when near the end of the movie where they're showing that video on like big screen of Katie like talking to Megan and talking about her parents and all this like emotional music under it, and like that's when Jenna's like kind of has that aha moment. She sees that and she's like, wow, what I'm doing is horrible. Like
I just exploited my niece
right
to move on in like the corporate world.
Yes, it's just it is very it's very intelligently written. And, like, it's kind of crazy that I'm saying this about a stupid, like, doll movie.
Yeah, a doll movie, yeah.
I know, it's, like, bizarre, but, like, these are the kind of movies that I love. It's, like, something so ridiculous that, like, no one should take it seriously, and then they somehow they ground it to our reality, and they make it emotional and make you care.
That's what we need more of in movies, is get a stupid idea and make it serious. Like have all the characters take it serious.
Yeah. Yep.
Like the fact that you have like a murderous doll on the loose. And then we also have this story about, an aunt taking in her niece.
Oh, yes. And these big heady themes about technology and what it does to us and our relationships with each other, and how we react to that and how we shouldn't react to that. It's like it's crazy that a doll movie like this can do that and still be good, and it's not like hammering you over the head with it.
Oh yeah. Well, one thing I wasn't a fan of is that towards the end, the Gemma literally explains all of that to Katie.
That's true. Yeah.
It is very expository at the end, where she's literally like, I guess I just made the doll so, it could take care of you and I don't have to do anything and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it at that point, because, like, you have to kind of throw the stupid
this
audience
is
a
also,
bone.
yeah, a movie where a doll killed an old lady with just spraying her with pesticides and her skin melted.
Dude, that was funny.
So... that was fun. Okay, let's talk about the kills in this.
Yeah.
Because, okay. So this movie, there's two cuts of it. There's the R-rated cut, which was more gory, and then the PG-13 cut, which got the theatrical release. And I assume they wanted the PG-13 cut because more people would see it. It just rules of movies. But they were like, they defended like, oh, like a PG-13 cut's scarier. But now I really want to see the R-rated cut, and I hope when this gets a physical release that they have that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's made.
Yeah.
Because I want to see the gore.
Me too. I'm just imagining what that pressure washer scene would have looked like. I'm imagining, like, because this movie is another plus of this movie. It's very heavy on practical effects.
Yes, I was very surprised.
Yeah, for one, I think that it makes it really effective and makes M3GAN feel real and, like, actually a threat. Is like all of M3GAN stuff is done practically. Like it's a person in a suit.
Yeah, it's like a kid. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I think that a lesser movie would have definitely done a mixture of CGI, probably mostly CGI. And so I feel like that was I can just imagine that pressure washer scene being like some really good like practical effect where like
face melting.
Yeah, face melting and shit, and the skin peeling back. Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I mean for a PG-13 movie, it goes kind of hard.
It does.
Like when she pulled that kid's ear off.
Yeah.
It's like stretched super far.
Yeah, that was so painful looking.
Yeah.
I'll give the movie this too. I never felt like I was watching a PG-13 movie.
Yeah, that is true.
I never felt like, oh, they cut that because it was going to be too gory. Like it all felt very appropriate, and I was surprised by that.
Yeah, and it's just goofy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like again, like she just like dances and serves it up, and then immediately grabs a giant industrial paper cutter and kills a man.
Oh my god, yeah.
And it's hilarious.
Man, that's great.
we got to talk about the ending. So I guess spoiler from here on out. But we get a robot fight, which I figured was coming when they introduced Gemma. I guess designed this prototype. It's one of those robots that like you connect the gloves and it like mimics your movements.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is going to be used to probably fight M3GAN at some point. But I completely forgot about it by the time of the movie where I'm like, oh, that's kind of stupid. Because when they first introduced it, you're still not sure what kind of movie this is. Because we're not introduced to M3GAN yet. Yeah. And then I was like, when they were fighting in the garage, I was like, oh my God, they're going to use that robot. And sure enough, we get a robot fight.
Yeah, that was really sweet. That was when I was like cheering. I was like,
it goes full B-movie schlock.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially the robot literally grabs her and just tears her in half.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was awesome. I love that.
And For me, and they do the thing that I love, like, and I think why Child's Play, the first one, is so memorable, is that they show Megan all fucked up. Like, we go from like the pretty Megan to just a disgusting monster.
Yeah, it's
like her like scalp is like peeled back, so she has like a big bald spot. Her like face is all torn up, so you can see like the machinery.
Yeah,
and it's awesome. It's great.
Nice. It goes with the themes of the movie too. It's like it's showing that, you know, the whole movie, like, Megan is pretending to be this person, and then
she's not.
The end when Gemma makes her heel turn and she realizes, oh, this is all fucked up. It's like now you get to see Megan for what she really is, and it's this weird contraption that's just a facade of a person. It's all this machinery that's just cobbled together, and it's like, it's very scary, and it's very cool. I mean, it's a robot fight. I mean, what's not cool about that?
It's that's what literally this movie is. Just like it's cool.
Yeah, literally.
Like, I don't know what else you want. Like, it's entertaining.
Yeah. Like, we were talking about sequels and stuff earlier to this.
Oh, yeah.
I would be totally down for a sequel to this.
This is going to get so many sequels, and you know they're going to incorporate the numbers in the name.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
What they're gonna do with 3, I don't know.
Yeah,
but but okay, one thing that I know they're gonna make a sequel, one, because it's Blumhouse.
I think they've actually already confirmed that they're developing it.
Opening night, it made its own budget back in one night.
Oh my god, for real?
It was made on a $12 million budget, and it got $18 million that like opening Friday.
Wow, crazy.
Yeah,
it deserves
it. You know. Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think the good word of mouth from like critics and stuff, like, people were like, "What the fuck?" It has like a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're like, "What is going on?" Because up until the week of the movie came out, people thought this was gonna be shitty.
Oh yeah, I was.
That's what I thought.
I was one of those people. I thought it was going to be garbage.
I only wanted to see it because I knew it was going to be bad and it would be funny.
Yeah.
And then it turned out it was just genuinely funny and it ruled.
Yes.
So 2023 is already off to a good start.
I will say this. This Megan is like, she is a great villain. She's intimidating. It's one of my favorite horror films of recent memory, and I was so surprised. I love this movie to the point that I doubt another horror movie is gonna top it, just because it's just so funny and so
it's entertaining. This is a perfect popcorn horror movie.
Yeah,
like I feel like you could recommend this movie to anybody and they'll have a blast.
Oh yeah, this is just straight up fun if you're into horror. It's just I don't think any movie this year is gonna top it. I just don't see it.
Wow. You sound like Greg Turkington here.
Yeah, we were speaking too early, but
putting all your chips in on Megan.
Yes.
I mean, considering I don't really know what else is coming out this year. Hey.
Yeah. I mean, do we know if Maxine is coming out this year? Is that a thing?
Ooh, I don't know.
I don't know if we know yet.
I don't think we know. I feel like we would have heard.
Probably, yeah.
Considering how good Pearl and X did.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if that teaser trailer that they had for it, if there was a date in there.
It was literally just like coming whenever.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, they would have had big balls to be like, not only did we film 2 movies at once and count on you liking the first one, but now we have a 3rd one we already made.
And it's coming out next year, motherfucker.
Yeah, get ready. Get ready for your dick to be pounded.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so Megan, it's good, surprisingly. If you have doubts, I think go see it.
Yeah, just go in expecting to have just fun. It's
fun, yeah.
It's not super heady, it's not pretentious, it's just a good time.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
It's just a movie.
Yeah.
That happens to kick ass somehow.
Yes, it's
like, I'm still in disbelief.
I know, seriously. To me it's a really tight script. Like it has everything that I love. I love to like laugh at like tropes in movies, but then I also like to be genuinely entertained, and it had both of those things in spades. It was crazy.
Okay, one part I do want to point out, which I can forgive because the rest of the movie is funny.
Yeah,
is how they make an entire AI in one night. They literally do like the 80s montage and build Megan in one night.
Well, I definitely feel like that was playing on cliches. But
yeah. For sure. But I feel like going into this now, I would forgive it more. But watching it the first time, we don't realize like this is like a comedy.
Yeah.
Because all we've had so far is, this girl's parents died. Now she's living with this woman that is not equipped both like mentally to take care of this child, and she's got like this deadline at work and a bad boss, and then we get a fucking montage. who her assistant looks like that Barry Kogan or whatever his name is, the guy who's the Joker.
Yeah.
I thought it was him for a second, and I was like, no way it's him, but it wasn't. But it looked just like him.
He does kind of look like him, yeah.
It's a very unique face, but
he does.
For me, that was just like, okay, but it does play on the rest of the movie because everyone like they want them to like show to the investors, then show to the people, like the public, and she's like, well, this like literally hasn't even been tested.
Yeah.
Like we made this in one night in my garage, dude.
Yeah. The boss was so funny too because he was just like, he's so like stereotypical and like over the top.
He's a stereotype, yeah.
He like comes out and he's like, oh my god, we gotta market this now. I gotta talk to Johnny from HR and like get all this marketing stuff out. It's like so stupid.
Yeah, he flips a switch. Yeah. Well, the second he sees that Gemma is now useful.
Right.
He's like, I believed in you. You were so great. Even though he wanted to like defund the project.
Yeah, right. Oh god. I did remember another scene that made me like hysterically laugh too because of how stupid it was. And it was like another kind of cliche playing scene. When Megan and Gemma are like fighting on the dining room table, and then and then Katie comes out of her room and just sitting in the doorway. It's like, is everything okay? It sounds like you're fighting. And then they're like, while they're like have each other in like chokeholds. Like, everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
We're just talking. Go back to bed. And then she closes the door and they immediately start fighting again.
Yeah, it's like,
that's like something in a Marvel movie.
It is. And the reason it's funny is because it's played so straight. Like, there's like tense music during that. And you could tell like they're executing it in a way they want you to feel tense. But it's like the way it's written is written so comically. It's like, it's perfect.
And also, right before that, Megan, for some reason, is playing Toy Soldiers on the piano.
Oh my god, yeah.
Which is so bizarre.
Yeah. Oh god.
Just incredible stuff all around.
It's very enjoyable. I was thoroughly entertained with this one.
Yes, that is a good way to describe it. Thoroughly entertained. For me, I think it has a lot of flaws, but I can overlook a lot of them just because of how awesome it is.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're Megan heads now.
I don't know. I can't really say much bad stuff about this, other than maybe the sister thing. I think it would have been nice to see what their relationship was like.
Yeah.
Before. I think you're right with that. But I mean, I thought everything. There's so many setups and payoffs. I felt
that works.
It was like, you know, like there's so many legitimately tense and scary scenes. Like Megan was a very intimidating villain. Like whenever she was about to fuck shit up, I was actually like on my toes. Like, you know,
yeah.
It was good. It was great. I'm a Megan head, as you said.
We're Megan heads here. We're Megan defenders.
Yes. This is
if
such
Megan has 1,000 fans, we are one. If Megan has one fan, that is me. If Megan has 0 fans, I am dead.
Yes, exactly. I stand Megan. I stand Megan.
I genuinely am looking forward to a sequel.
Oh yeah, if as long as it has the same people behind it. That's what else. That's my qualifier.
This is literally child's play for our generation.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's just so good. It's great. I don't know what else to say.
So go to your local theater, support Jason Blum and James Wan, and gobble up that M3GAN.
Yeah,
just love it. Get your big popcorn and your loud candy that's hard to open in the theater without making any noise, and watch M3GAN murder people and then serve. Because that's exactly what the movie is. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Go see M3GAN. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.